present For the Record.
Welcome to For the Record. I'm Naomi Coles. This week, the governor unveiled a $91 billion budget proposal with a long list of liberal policies that legislature Republicans quickly quashed. I sat down with the governor this week to talk through the future of some of those proposals.
Governor, since your address, Republican leaders have made very clear that they view a lot of your proposals as divisive policy, their words, that have no place in the budget process. Why include policies in a budget plan that clearly don't have a chance in the legislature?
Well, I'm not sure they don't. I can't believe that the Republican leaders are against helping out our small businesses that have struggled mightily across our state. I can't believe that they're not interested in investing in venture capital that has really suffered during the pandemic. They themselves, 4 years ago, the speaker in his Blue Ribbon Commission said that 2/3 funding is where we should be in schools. So I can't believe that they're against all those things. So a lot of this, I think, is puffery, and let's just get to work. I think they're for these things. The Bucky's promise and getting low-income people to have tuition free across the state. I can't believe they're against that. And so let's get together and have them start doing their work. We spent a lot of time on this budget. We had budget listening sessions all across the state, and this budget's a reflection of what we heard. So they need to get the Joint Finance Committee out there and listening to people too, and I think they'll find out that they agree with us.
Let me push a little harder on that. You mentioned some things like K-12 education, potentially the Bucky's Promise program that could get bipartisan support, but things like marijuana legalization, things like raising minimum wage, things like Medicaid expansion, things like repealing Act 10. These are all things that they're like, these are non-starters. What about policies like those?
Well, those policies didn't come out of thin air. Again, if you mentioned recreational marijuana, it's passed many referendums across the state of Wisconsin. Polls indicate that people want it. Medicaid expansion, same thing. You look at the polls, people say yes. Why should we be paying all this money into the federal government, not getting in return what we should have? And health care is one of the top priorities for people in Wisconsin. So I know they have said they're against some things, but when they say they're against some things, that also means that they aren't interested in representing the will of the people. That's why we go out and have budget hearings, and that's why the Joint Finance does too. They will hear the same things that we hear, and so this budget reflects the people's budget.
Let's talk about K-12 education. I know that's a big focus for you. You asked for 2/3 funding 2 years ago for K-12. You're asking for it again this year. Budget leaders, they had a virtual luncheon earlier today talking about this. They say they aren't sure yet that 2/3 is possible. So I guess my question is, what compromise level of K-12 education funding are you willing to sign off on like you did 2 years ago?
Well, we'll wait till the end of the process. I'm unable to say right now what I'm going to agree to or not agree to. All I can tell you is that they said it was a top priority 4 years ago. There's the same people in the leadership for the most part. And B, it is important that this is a recovery budget from a pandemic, and if any sector, especially in the public sector, has been influenced in a negative way, it's been our schools and higher education, all of education. So when we come out of a pandemic and we need recovery, we need to have some resources, and I think our proposal provides that.